Hi everyone, it's Sheena Lachey, and today I am filming on board Crystal Cruises, and we are getting ready to dock in Palma, Mallorca, Spain, which I hear is a beautiful place to be. We are delayed in docking in the port because of something with a ferry. So because of that, we have to wait. It's however the waters and cruises and ports work. We are at the mercy of those things. So while we were delayed, I figured I would shoot another video. I think the last time I checked in, I was actually still in Monte Carlo, but I did go to San Remo, Italy. We went to Saint Tropez, as well as Sanary-sur-Mer, France. I'm butchering it. It's horrible of me. And the cruise has been amazing. But today, actually, I want to talk about marriage. As I've been on the cruise, one of the things you'll find is that everyone just talks to everyone. And you end up talking about your careers, your life stories, what brought you on the cruise. Everyone's just so friendly. And I wish I could record all the conversations because they're so enlightening or funny, and they're just so many personality types. It's one of the things I like about, I don't know if it's specific to Crystal Cruises or all of the cruises, but there are two couples that, well, not two couples. There's a couple I met and I've been hanging out with them every day, as well as a mother and daughter who are here sailing. The mother is 72 and the daughter's 46, and they both are married, but they came alone on the cruise. So first, the married couple. They live, well, I won't give away too many details, but the wife, I was speaking to her, and at one point she asked me if I was married, and I said no, and she said, well, why not? And that, I've never had someone ask me why wasn't I married, just like when someone says, well, why aren't you in a relationship? And well, here's the thing to understand also. Crystal Cruises is a luxury cruise, so the people who are sailing on this are pretty affluent people, or they've saved up a lot. Most are couples, and so a lot of people are married on the cruise. And I'm one of a few people sailing that is traveling alone in a sense. Like, I'm here with a group, but the group goes off and does their own thing, and I'm by myself. And even though the people who are traveling by themselves, most are also married, but their spouse just didn't come. So when she asked why wasn't I married, the answer I could think of at the time was, well, I haven't found someone that I would want to spend the rest of my life with yet. Then she asked me how old was I, and I said 30. She thought I was 25. And then once I said that, I said, yeah, I haven't found anyone I want to spend the rest of my life with yet, but in the meantime, I date men to have fun and also to see if that's a possibility. At that, she told me how she wished she had done that because she met her husband a year too soon. And I'm just listening. That's when I like have poker face, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like, they've been married for 26 years now, and they have 3 children, and lead very successful lives, like both she and he. And they've traveled all over the world. But as she spoke more, she said that she met her husband soon after college, and they married and had kids. And she wouldn't change that for the world because they have a beautiful family. But she said she met him a year too soon because she just didn't get to explore on her own. And looking back, she wished she'd had that experience, so she understood why I was taking my time and getting married or something. And I just thought that was so interesting. Like, there was no hesitancy. Like, at first, by default, she was like, are you married? Why aren't you married? And when I was like, because I'm living my life. And then almost immediately after, she's like, yeah, I met my husband a year too soon. And then actually, as she was talking more about him, she spoke of how she'd gotten out of a relationship, and he had as well, and he wooed her. He was taking her to restaurants and buying her gifts, and to her, that she had never experienced that before, and so for her that meant a lot. And I think that's a valid way to measure someone's worth in your life, because for some people they receive love by gifts, by spending quality time, but for me, I don't receive love by gifts. So I was just like, that's wow, okay. I mean, in my head, I wasn't judging her, but that's just, yeah, okay. So the next woman that I met, the mother and daughter I met today at breakfast, same thing. We're talking, and the daughter, who's 46, she asked me how old was I. The mother thought I was 18, and they asked if I had any children, and I said, I'm not married, I don't have any children, I'm 30. It's like, I have 4 younger siblings who could be my children. Same story that keeps happening. And she then, did she ask why I wasn't married? I think she asked the same thing, and I said, I haven't met anyone worthy enough to spend my entire life with just them at this point. And she and her mother was like, yeah, I understand. So the daughter then said, yeah, I married my husband because I was afraid I was getting too old not to have children. So I married him. And she said, the children are amazing and the marriage is only okay. And I was like, oh, that's okay. And then the mother, who's 70 something, she was like, I'm just grateful for this cruise with just my daughter because my husband's too needy and I needed a break. So, and I'm sure I've also met many people here who have amazing stories of their marriages and amazing lives and such. The colleague that I'm traveling with, she's here with her husband. They've been married for many years and they have a blended family because of previous marriages, and they are just like in love, and you can see that. But these 2 stories of the women that I talked to, the one who married her husband a year too soon and the other who married her husband because she wanted children, and the marriage isn't that great, basically. I don't know, it's just making me think, because I'm at that place, and I've always been at that place in life where everyone around me is getting married. I went to a Christian college, and most people were getting engaged and married while we were like sophomores in college. And then leaving that environment, even now, there's a number of people that I know who are married, although that's why I know a lot of single people too. But it's just this thing, like every now and then there's that one person I know who's just like, I want a husband, I want a boyfriend, I want a baby, or everyone's just like looking for a relationship. And I'm known as Siren Sheena, that dates all these guys and dates the wolves and things like that. And it's true, I am a siren, but that has very little to do with the men in my life. It's more so my personality type. And I love men. And being on this cruise, I mean, everyone's pretty much paired up, even if they're not with their husband, they're here with a friend or something. So this, even though I'm on a boat with lots of people, I'm hosting a group, I'm also alone. And so it's like a solo trip. Every day when we port into a city, I go off on my own and I wander about town. I take the train to Italy. I do my own thing. And for 90% of that, even more, I love it because I'm an introvert and I love doing things of my own, and I just love doing things my way and exploring the city however I want to, and not having to worry about, oh, if I'm with a friend or with someone, are they gonna want to do what I want to do? I like doing things of my own. I did go on a trip once with someone I was dating over a year and a half ago, and it was good. It was it was pretty good. Everything about it wasn't perfect, but it was good. So I don't know, I've just been thinking about things. Last night I was at the nightclub, and it was karaoke and dance, and so I was sitting in the back by myself, and I can go up to people and just meet them and strike up a conversation, which I've been doing every night. But in this particular moment, I chose to sit by myself and just watch what was going on. And I thought to myself, am I lonely? Like, would this trip have been better if someone were here with me who I could crack jokes with? Because there came that time in the evening where, the couples were, you could tell as the evening was progressing how couples, their body language was, and the way he may have kissed her, or another woman touched his shoulder, and you knew they'd either go back to their room to have mind-blowing sex, or there were these inside jokes. Like, these beautiful things that happen with companionship and between partners. And I thought, like, um, I want that? Like, would that have been nice right now? And I was like, no, I mean, companionship and having a partner is great, but it has to be the right one. And even more so than just wanting someone to sit here with. The only thing that I miss is that it's been like a week and a half since I've had sex, and my body's like, what the fuck? We want pleasure. And masturbating or vibrators is just not it. I like a man and his penis, which may be TMI for you. So that's the only thing I miss. But I don't know, it's just these thoughts are running around. And what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, do what works for you. Don't feel pressure to do any particular thing. Like, if you are like, I'm an independent woman and I'm a feminist and like, no to the man. Like, if in your heart you want to be with someone or you love someone, like, tell them. Like, don't fuck around. Life is too short to bullshit things. Like, if you care, tell them. Like, if the timing is right, like, go for it. Like, take the risk to love. But on the flip side, don't rush shit that's not real. Don't try to make something work that isn't working, because it'll be 25 years later, you have a house and kids, and you feel like you've wasted your time or you didn't get to explore. Like, you really need to dig deep into what is your heart's true desire and what makes sense for where you are, and not feel pressured by society, by family, by stereotypes. Like, fuck all of that and do what works for you. For me, what works is, one, I like being at this place in my life because I can just go when I want. And I work for a travel company and I like to just explore, and I love the freedom of that. And not to say that a relationship or children wouldn't allow for that. That's not what I'm saying. It's just where I'm at in my life. I like to just go with, like, in 30 seconds. Like, oh, you need me here? I'm gone. And I love that. Will I always love that? I don't know, but that's what I love right now. And I love dating multiple men. And not because it's like, oh, I want free meals, and it's not even, let's take the knots out. Why do I love dating men? Well, one, I love men. And when I date, I love to experience sensuality and pleasure and desire and the tease, and it's all just so yummy. And I don't, it's not like just some casual whatever. Like, whoever's in my life, they have a part of me, and they're getting to know me and the people in my life, and that means a great deal to me. It's very important to me. So nothing I do is casual. And I love the exploration and the journey of getting to know different people, and not just one man. Just like I have multiple friends or multiple interests, I have multiple men that I date. And there may be one that over time I only want to exclusively be with them. I can't predict the future, but I know today I like exploring the world, and I like doing things my way, not in the sense of like it's my way or the highway, but I like being able to just go on a cruise and not have to find a babysitter. Or not have to, some people brought their kids with them, and most of the kids are well behaved, but there's like that one moment when your kid is throwing a tantrum, and the last thing I want to deal with is a child throwing a tantrum. I don't want to be on a cruise changing a diaper, or being like, oh, we have to leave the nightclub because little Sarah needs to be put down for bed. No, I have no interest in doing any of that. And I like companionship. I like having a partner. I have a lot of that with my friendships, but there's a different level when it's with a romantic partner. And I like that, but I don't feel any sort of pressure to rush and be married. If anything, seeing the good examples of marriages that have lasted for the years, and hearing from the women who sort of rushed into marriage for their different reasons, it reconfirms or reaffirms that I need to always be true to myself and not rush and not stall anything. Like, I just need to authentically go for what works for me, and we'll see what that leads to. Today I am single, and I don't have any children. And there are men in my life that I care about, and there are more that I want to get to know. And I'm on this amazing luxury cruise exploring Italy and Monaco, France and Spain, a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I I'm I'm happy where I am, and I'm glad that I've chosen to live my life. That's what I learned at breakfast. I'm glad that I have always made it a point to be Sheena and to not live anyone else's life. Because, again, and I talk about this on my blog and in old videos, like if I were to die at any moment, I don't want any of those moments to be fake. I don't want to die in the middle of a marriage that I didn't really care about. I don't want to die. I don't want any moment to not be true. Have a good day.